Now, wasn't that an awkward way to finish vlog number 3? I decided halfway through editing that there is no chance I'm gonna fit the whole portion of why I resigned. I lied for like the second time, so I'm very sorry guys. I don't blame you if you don't trust me with this one, but vlog number 4 will definitely cover why I resigned from Emirates and why I didn't like living in Dubai. It had to be very easy for you guys to guess that my feelings towards working for the airline and living in the city of that airline were not so positive. To say it the most easiest way possible and the kindest way possible, I find Dubai is a city that is great on a visit and maybe a 3 to 4 day visit. You would literally see everything in whatever you need in that time frame. Even as a stopover, I'm pretty sure you can get all the famous trademarks in on an itinerary. Living there is a whole other ball game. I mentioned the groceries, they sucked. Slim pickings and overpriced. If you wanted to go organic, forget about it. Not that I believe in organic anymore, but it was more quality, it looked like. It wasn't, I don't know, rotten. So yeah, that was even more expensive. As I said, customer service in restaurants is like, they put so much money into these restaurants, but the service was horrible. I repeatedly asked myself, I wonder what the Starbucks back home and in America would say about this Starbucks here. How they don't live up to their story, to their morals, and the value of the company. It was just shocking to see how they can run down a name to the ground, a famous name to the ground. It was bad. And you didn't see kids working in these companies. It was all adults. So let's say me and Michael wanted to have kids in Dubai. They would be spoiled rotten. We would be making money for them. There's nowhere for them to work. Kids don't work in Dubai. Okay, so yeah, Michael and I, we want to have a family someday. We want to raise kids. And we're thinking, from a few people, we have had opinions that the school system there is pretty strong and the education is better than what you would see in America or in the UK. The education is better there, but I don't know, I didn't see my kids having like a proper school experience. It's too hot for them to go outside. I don't think the schools did recess. Like you know how we have inclement weather recesses here in Toronto? I guess they have that all year round out there. Like I never saw or heard kids playing outside. Even around the residential areas, they were never out. So like what the hell are these kids doing in Dubai? Another reason why we decided to resign is we were both flight attendants and we had 3 cats, and I was just comparing it to having kids. I wouldn't see my kids growing up. I'd be gone for like 3 days, 6 days of the week, and this is like full-on 24-hour days. So whatever the hours are, I'm not good at math. I wouldn't see my kids growing up. I'd be leaving them in the hands of a nanny. I know we do that here. There are people who are fortunate enough to have nannies, live-in nannies, but no, I want to raise my own children. I want to be there. I want to see them grow. No, not for us. Yeah, that's the big factor. We don't want to be raising our kids in Dubai. We want to give them a proper childhood. Freedom. We want them to see seasons. We want them to grow up as functioning adults and have part-time jobs. When I go out with my kids or my husband, I don't want my mood to plummet and change because they don't know how to serve you at restaurants. Grocery shopping, oh my lord. Like, I would come in like happy, like, yeah, grocery haul, and the second I crossed that line from the mall to Carrefour, I turned into a mega bitch. Like, me and Michael, we had to go our separate ways in the grocery store because I was like Godzilla crazy, pissed off the shit. I would see people cutting me off, running my toes over with their carts. Like, it was like Boxing Day or Black Friday every freaking time we went grocery shopping. There was one grocery store, sorry, I just ate. One grocery store, Waitrose in Dubai Mall, that was like civilized. It was a bit decent. If Michael and I wanted a date night, I couldn't look good. I didn't feel good either. There were a few times people would visit Dubai and we'd meet up with them, and as much as I tried to look good, and like the nights we went out clubbing, it's like all my effort just melted. Pretty much melted. So no, not for me. I acclimatized like crazy. It was pretty shocking that my body, a North American winter body, can climatize to this scorching heat, but it did. But still, with that, I struggled. I really struggled. I feel like I'm raging. I need to calm down. Calm and control these emotions, self-adjust. If we ever needed, like, to deal with the bank, the cell phones, like the cell phone bills, any bill, pretty much. Not that we had bills for accommodating and stuff, like our accommodations. I can't speak English today, sorry guys. But there were a few things, let's say we even needed to deal with Emirates regarding our living situations and what have you. It was like pulling teeth. Nobody wanted to help you. I believe it was like borderline racist. They would serve their people first before the expats. I did not like that when I saw that and felt that. And the people serving you felt like they were trying to tell me that they shouldn't be there. They're better and above this position that they're working. Like, they're trying to prove it to me. And I'm like, I get it. You don't want to be at work, but you know, this is reality. Everybody has to work. But it was like such a Kim Kardashian complex that they had. Like, everyone, all the females thought they were Kim Kardashian, and maybe they're doing this for a hobby that just went sour and they no longer want to be there, but in reality, they have to work. There wasn't a day where I didn't have to fight someone. And I am a pretty pleasant person. I don't like overstepping someone. I kind of keep to myself. Yeah, I don't like confrontations. So I grew really thick skin thanks to my daily battles with people who just didn't want to do their freaking job, or not even job, just like be a nice human being, you know, be a helping hand. Nobody out there would do that. Okay, you guys get the idea. Couldn't have an outdoor life. Service sucked. We didn't want to raise children in this world. We wouldn't be doing anything else but flying. Like, in Dubai, I feel like the best perks would be being a flight attendant. Like, I would not want to be trapped in Dubai for the rest of my life. Flying and leaving Dubai was kind of like saving my soul. So, yeah, I didn't want to be a flight attendant for the rest of my life. And I didn't want to be stuck in Dubai. There is such an ugly side to Dubai. I've said it before as well, where it is poverty wearing drag makeup, bedazzled. There is like so much inhumane, unethical commotion in this city. It's unlawful. if that makes sense. I think this is the most perfect time to make this YouTube video for you guys so you can understand why I resigned. Just think of the COVID-19 situation. This will be the best taste you can get in the lifestyle that you have out there. If you're not someone who is going to want a normal life and routine and have like the need for these essentials to survive as a human being, then it's perfect. If you're gonna spend your whole day on the beach not eating, just beaching all day, if you have the money in the world to go clothes shopping, jewelry shopping, if you have the money and time in the world to actually, no, don't get your hair done in Dubai, don't get your nails done in Dubai, and don't get massages. I will tell you my situation, my experience, and my lovely romantic date night with Michael at a couples massage. In Dubai, all the salons are segregated from each other, so you have the male salons, and then you have, or barber shops, and then, or the saloons as they called it. I saw so many signs out there that instead of writing salon, it would say saloon. I'm like, I thought this was a Muslim country. You don't serve drinks to the public like that. You know, everything's hidden, you know, underground on the DL. But yeah, so yeah, there's male salons, barber shops, and female. Me and Mike wanted to get a massage together, like a couples massage. And we managed to Google something. I think this is like the one and only place that is for couples. It was in Business Bay. And yeah, so we got to be in the same room, but literally we were like on the floor, laying down on these mattresses, and there was no space between us. We were like side by side, so they only massaged like one side of our bodies because they couldn't get in between us. Like, they didn't think this through. I don't know. The whole thing was pretty dodgy because I'm pretty sure it was not allowed. Illegal, as one would say. Yeah, it was illegal. And it was also a horrible experience. We came out, we're laying down, they didn't think the whole layout through, and they began massaging us, and they wouldn't stop talking in their language. Like, they were, I don't know, in Canada, I'm sorry, I'm always like, in Canada, but really, any trade that I've been in, it's always engraved or burned into our minds to be mindful of our customers and feel out if they want to talk. I was a hairstylist prior to being crew in Dubai, and yeah, you just had to feel it out and see if your customer was in a chatty mood. Like, you would, if maybe they were nervous, and you would, you know, warm them up, get them to open up and start speaking. But some people just, they wanted to get their hair cut and leave. So you just have to feel it out. Same thing with, I worked at a spa where there were massage therapists, registered massage therapists, and they would say the same thing. Like, some people wanted you to stay silent during the massage, and sometimes people came to, like, you know, it was like a social thing or a therapy thing. They wanted to vent out their stresses. So yeah, these girls didn't even consider it. They weren't considerate. So they were yapping away, and finally, like, again, I don't like confrontations and shit like this, but I was like, and they like stopped, their hands like came off of us. I guess they thought that something hurt me, or I don't know what, but it was funny. And I was like, I love this language, it sounds so beautiful, but I'm so sorry, I can't relax. Do you mind if you just massage us? It was so awkward. And then, because of this, I just couldn't relax. I'm like, fuck, I'm such a bitch. Why did I do that? I should have just stayed quiet and let them talk. But really, I needed this. I was paying so much because, again, Dubai is so expensive. I'm like, every second counts. This was for me, this was for Mike, so I didn't even end up relaxing. I think my butt was clenched the entire hour. So yeah, hopefully that gives you a feel of what I mean. Another reason. There is a timeline. When I first started, oh my god, excitement. I think I've mentioned that 1,000 times in my last video. And finally the company started to just change its whole appeal and packaging, image, everything. It kind of caught me and my attention during training college when they were trying to compare this luxury airline to home brands. This is what one presentation was about. They were first giving you all these logos and brands that are so high-end and not accessible to everyone, and then these home brands that are, you know, like no-name brand, blah blah blah. So their mission was to be accessible to make the airline more homey and family friendly and accessible to the general population. I just at that moment was like, what? Doesn't make sense. I feel like you're gonna be tarnishing your image that way. I don't know. I didn't really get that business aspect point of view, but whatever. I don't know anything about business, but it just didn't seem like a good idea. Oh, and it wasn't. So basically the airlines and the customers saw this. They were telling us this on flights. They were mentioning it. They were complaining. That's the crappy thing, that we were the middlemen between the company and the passengers, so we were taking the heat. You have no idea how many customer surveys and feedbacks I had to give out and collect and suggest. So Emirates just like completely changed their management, and yeah, people were still paying the same price for these flights. Shit, I hope I don't get in trouble for this, but really. But there was less that this airline was offering. It was becoming like a low-cost airline with a high quality name to it. It just didn't make sense. Like, there was so much stripped away from these customers that it was like, why would you even still think you're royalty? You are like the next airline. There's no difference. I remember when I first flew with the airline, I was blown away with how much I was given and offered, and the services, how they looked. I was like, whoa. And when I flew with another airline after that, I was like, well, now I know, how would I say it? I said it countless of times, and of course, I don't know what's wrong with me. I can't remember squat lately, but we put our blood and sweat into our services. We cared, we smiled. Other airlines, like flight attendants, could be so grumpy, oi, but we get crapped on so much from the higher people, the power, and from the people in front of us. And yet we smile. We self-adjust. Yeah. I don't know where I was going with that. We brought the best service possible. I definitely stand behind that. Okay, what was stripped from us? What perks did we lose? Let me think. It started with the live out allowance. We weren't allowed to live out unless we were married. So that made it very difficult for me and Michael. We were boyfriend-girlfriend, and then it was the weirdest thing being fiancé. I mean, you still don't have to live together when you're fiancés, but then we got married. But we got married at a time where we knew we were gonna resign. So there was really no point of us investing our money in movers, a new flat. Like, there would be no way we would be able to save money in that short time frame with this kind of opportunity. But It would have been awesome if you could just live out with the people you wanted to live with. That's another thing. You could swap, but it was very rare that, let's say your roommate and you couldn't live with boys. Like, girls would be with girls, boys would be with boys. So there's no way I could swap Mike into my flat or I get swapped into his. Like the salons, everything was segregated. The closest we got to living together was him living in my blocks. So he didn't have to sign in through security and sign out. There wasn't a time frame for him to be there and not. And he didn't have to call, like the security didn't have to call me every time to let him in or whatever. It was one of the perks taken away, which made living a very hard situation for many people. There were hell roommates. I swear to God, it's so strange that in university and college, I mean, there is drama, but you deal with it and somehow you make best friends with your roommates. But not here, no way. Just had a sneeze attack. Whew. Where was I? Yeah. It made living outside of work and recharging from the work life a lot harder because there was one kitchen, 3 roommates, not a fun situation. And you couldn't swap sometimes. 1 year we didn't receive our bonuses. I mean, I don't expect this ever, but it was a huge damper on people's moods and motivation. So people got very demotivated and they made working a lot harder with them because they just didn't want to put in their end of the work stick. People didn't want to pull in their muscle. They just weren't team players. It was such a struggle. You would typically do 4 cards, let's say, if you understand any of this. On one flight, you would do 4 max. After this whole commotion, you'd be doing 6 or 7. And you're like, who isn't working? And yeah, it just caused so much drama. Then there was this new flight performance thing that we had to do. So every flight, your supervisor had to observe you, and half the time they would be making up crap about something negative. So it seems like they're correcting you and giving you constructive criticism. And some took that way too far and really risked a lot of girls' careers. That whole family feel that I had at the beginning of my career just went to hell. Everyone was so pissy at this point. It wasn't just that they didn't get their bonuses, they were also getting more workload put on them. Us. I don't know why I say they. Me too. They were cutting down on crew needed on flights. There were positions that were like, you need a crew for every door in case of an emergency. You had usually 2 or 3 extra crew and seats just for the service purpose, to get through the service and, you know, have an equal workload. They got rid of that and people were working way more than they're used to, me included. Plus you had that lazy turd that you had to work after. So you're doing a crazy amount of work for no perks, no motivation, no incentive, pretty much. Except your pay. Fair enough. At the start of flying, I looked at this job as an opportunity to travel. I did not care about the job. I didn't take it seriously at all. I was just like, give me the free travel. That's what I'm here for. That's my perk and benefit, and I'm happy. I did the partying, and like I said, it wasn't healthy long term, and the hours went up like crazy. We were working way more, resting way less, so just you couldn't enjoy these layovers anymore. You are working. You're at this company to work, not enjoy its perks and its benefits. Those benefits and perks were just completely stripped from us. It was like Either you sell your soul and become a garbage human and enjoy these layovers, sleep deprived and fried in the brain, and just damage your body some more and fly back. Like, I just did not like the feeling of being dead on my flights. Like I said in my other video, I fell asleep standing once. I don't like that feeling at all. It is not fun. It is so stressful on the body. And like, I understand mothers now, and mothers will hate me for this, but I totally think I could be an excellent mother thanks to this job. It definitely prepared me for that lack of sleep that all these mothers talk about. There is no lack of sleep like being a flight attendant. I'm so sorry. Or it's same. You don't have a scheduled sleep. You sleep when you can, and you sleep when your body lets you. Because sometimes you want to sleep and you're on such an overdrive that you just can't shut off, and it's the scariest thing. Your brain will not turn off. Or you're at a time zone where you just wouldn't be sleeping at this hour. You're tired, but like in your day-to-day, you're not sleeping during this hour. So your body's like, no, keep going. Yeah, you have to really coach yourself and train your body to fall asleep when you needed it to sometimes. And of course, when you're doing tea and coffee, you're like, oh yeah, okay, now I want to fall asleep. And you're like, tea, coffee, no? Okay, sugar, milk. I've had so many people, usually like the UK or Aussies, would be like, oh, you're not fooling us. You can't hide your tiredness. I'm like, yeah, I can't. Oh Lord. Worst feeling ever. So of course, yeah, I couldn't enjoy my layovers as much because I was so focused on resting and R&R and training my, body to eventually fall asleep. Or you'd be in Mauritius and you're like, yeah, free water skiing, kayaking, what have you. I'm all for it. And then first thing you do is go to the buffet, get some protein in, some carbs, refuel after this night flight of hell. That was such a hard flight. Such an impossible flight to paradise. And after the buffet, you go straight to bed because the buffet mixed with a little bit of sun, that's your cure to insomnia and jet lag. I swear every Mauritius flight I've had, I managed to, after landing and checking in, showering, and heading out, I managed to enjoy 4 hours of it. And then I just crash, and then I sleep. Sometimes I would get up before, like, the restaurant closed and enjoy the night buffet, fill up till the morning, and then, yeah, just do breakfast, go to the gym, and typically it rained. So always the day where I was departing, it rained. That was my luck.